Welcome back to Kickback. We are proudly presented by CMHA, Brant, Haldeman, Norfolk. My name is Ben, and I'm now joined by Bekah. Bekah, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome back to the Kickback living room.
Yes.
We're here at Up Yoga and Wellness this year.
Very happy to be here.
And I'm just excited to talk about this topic because I'm recently through it-ish.
In the middle of it.
In the middle of it.
Yeah,
and so you wanted to talk about the perinatal period and just supporting parents through that time.
Yeah. So I thought this would be an important topic just for us to chat about. There's kind of three main points that I thought we could discuss. The first being when you're showing up for someone in your life who is going through the perinatal period. Now, to define the perinatal period, pregnancy, the fourth trimester, so the 3 months after you have your baby or after a loss, and then beyond, so up until the first 12 months after delivery. That is considered the perinatal period. And postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, postpartum OCD, psychosis, bipolar, those we don't see as often, but those can all happen up until within that 12-month period after you have your baby. So that's just kind of quick description of what perinatal mental health is. So when you have someone who you love or you're supporting, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's family, who's in this period, we can sometimes show up for them or may not know how to show up for them. And I thought we could just chat about a few ways that you can support somebody at this time. So the first thing is, what language are we using, right? One of the questions that you had posed when we were getting ready for this interview, Ben, was how can we help, right? And I think for a lot of us, we don't know how to help. We don't know what to do. So we might check in with someone. What do you need, right? Do you want us to come by? Can you let us know? That time is so overwhelming for people, right?
Yeah, totally.
And I think it's important that we, number one, we are listening without judgment to those people, but also maybe proposing to them, hey, I made some extra soup. Can I pop by and drop this off for you? Hey, I'm in the area. Can I bring you a coffee? Hey, I'd love to come by and see you and the baby. What would you like me to do? We automatically think, oh, I want to hold that baby. I want to be there for that baby. Research shows the best indicator of baby's well-being is mom's well-being. So what does mom want? Does mom want us to hold the baby while she can go and have a shower? Or maybe she wants to fold the laundry. Maybe she wants to go and do something where she has a sense of control. Or maybe she wants you to go and do the dishes so she can sit and kick back. And put her feet up.
Well played, yeah.
Put her feet up and she can enjoy that time with her baby and you not be afraid to go in and fold the laundry, do the dishes, maybe wipe down the bathroom, bring a meal, whatever it might be. So that's kind of the first thing I think about when I talk to people about how can you show up for people, how can we help during that perinatal period. Do you have any examples of that where people have showed up for you really, really well in the last year?
Yeah, well, I think it's a lot of that has to do with the time of, like, we've got two, right? We've got Theo, who's 5, and we've got Benny, who is now, he'll be almost a year when this airs.
Okay.
And so I think the biggest assistance has been the ability to pull Theo out of the situation and give him all of the attention and love that he deserves, that maybe when you're in survival mode of having a baby and like they need all of the attention just for survival, where Theo doesn't necessarily require the same things because he's older. Right. So you're not able to give that same attention to him that maybe he is longing for. And so I think people taking him away to give him that love and attention and one-on-one time that he had for 4 years and he got used to. I think the biggest piece for me in having the second was not being ready for his emotions and in that change. So it was just interesting, but definitely helping with him and giving him that time.
Yeah, that's really wonderful that you had. Did you ask for that or did people offer that?
A bit of both.
Yeah, okay.
A bit of both, yeah.
So another thing is after we have our babies during that perinatal period, you are in your season of receiving, is what I call it. Seasons change, right? And I think it's very hard, especially after we have our first baby. to say yes when people offer that help, because you might be very used to, oh, I can do it, I got it.
Totally.
Say yes.
Yeah.
When someone comes and offers, hey, do you want me to wipe down your bathroom? You might be embarrassed, or what does it look like? I got a host. Absolutely not. You are in your season of receiving. Practice saying yes. Get a little bit better at that with your second, right?
Yeah,
Someone wants
totally.
to come and take Theo for a bike ride, you're going to say,
go for it.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that's really important, because you also will learn what works for you and how to do that for other people. When Mark and I first got home from the hospital after having my daughter, friends of ours had come in, they had left a crock pot meal on the counter. My bed was made, at the bathroom, had fresh towels, all of that. And at first I thought, oh my gosh, we left the house in such a mess because we were in a rush. Yeah. But it was so wonderful. And I never forgot that. And I've done that for so many couples since, because I remembered how impactful that was for me. It wasn't anything fancy, but it was dinner.
Right, totally. Right? And I think so many people live in their heads and feel like everybody needs to have this perfect, everything has its place life where everything's clean and tidy and done.
That's right.
When it's really not like that.
No.
And so when somebody offers, they really do want to help. It's not just lip service at that point, right? They do want to help. So let them.
Yeah, and the other piece, which you brought up, was no judgment, right? And during this time of social media where we are seeing so much online, we think, oh, it has to look a certain way, or maybe someone's judging me based on my decisions. People who are in your orbit, if you are in someone's orbit, park your judgment, right? Also, park your own experiences. I think that's something too. When we have someone going through something, might say, oh, this was my experience. This was my labor. This was my birth story. This was whatever it might be. If that is your impulse, which is not a bad impulse, right? But if that is your impulse, especially during this kind of vulnerable time, check yourself. Is this something I'm sharing for me or for that person?
Right.
And there's a time and a place for that, absolutely. But is this for you or for that other person? So doing more listening than talking. And I want to bring up a little fact here. 1 in 5 moms and 1 in 10 dads experience postpartum.
Yeah, even that was probably one of the biggest pieces of doing the dads group was the every week we did it, we had, just a quick segue, every week we did it, we had a different subject. And at the end I said, what was the most impactful piece that we talked about? And it was the mental health piece. Yep. And it was the people talking about, the men talking about how some were experiencing depression, and that they were experiencing, a big one was also the grief of that relationship that they had with their spouse before that, or maybe the grief of the relationship that they had with child number 1 when child number 2 came into the world, and those changing factors. And it's really big. It's a big piece of that, right?
Huge piece, yeah. And I think, just as I said, right, the biggest indicator of baby's well-being is mom's well-being, which also means how are we supporting that relationship? Because it's a system, right? It's a whole family system. Yep. And that's not to say that dads or partners are second, because they're just as important, and they need their mental health supported as well. However, during that, especially that initial time, needs of baby are primarily met by mom, right?
Totally.
So how do we look at supporting the system? And maybe that is just being a listening ear for dad, or even, hey, can I take the baby for a walk so that the couple can sit and watch a show or have a pizza or whatever it might be, as long as everyone feels good about that, right? But I think if you are in someone's orbit and you're asking yourself, how can I help? Really listening, really paying attention. It's also better if we can be responsive and not reactive, which means having this conversation before baby gets here. We know all about birth plans, but what's your mental health support plan? What are things you should be looking out for both parties of the couple, right? For the male, usually we see maybe feeling frustrated or angry, right? Getting short, feeling overwhelmed, whatever it might be. And for the woman, it might be isolating. For mama, it might be feeling overwhelmed and frustrated, maybe with their other child. What are these red flags that you might notice in yourself? And when I work with my clients, we actually break it down into yellow flags, orange flags, and red flags. Right. Yellow flag might be...
We're doing great, yeah.
The yellow flag might be something like, oh, I'm not as hungry, right? Okay, so what are we gonna do with that? I wanna catch you at your yellow flag before we get to our red flag. So if we can pay attention to those things, and you can have a discussion as well of who's your safe person. Is it a best friend? Is it a formal support? What does that look like? Can we have the numbers? Can we have the phone numbers? Can we have the contacts for all of these people, just to make sure everybody's supported in that family system, I think is the best thing we can do.
Definitely, and I think that that's such a great way to be able to approach that, and being proactive to that and being in that responsive place will serve everybody just so much better, because once baby does begin to start their arrival, everything changes. Everything shifts, and so having those supports in place to better, to, I don't know if the word simplify, but just to cozy that transition a little bit more is huge, and it makes that transition, which is life-changing, that much easier.
So in terms of the mental health plan that I chatted about, the nice thing about having that made before you kind of hit that period is after you have the baby, brain fog, right? Often we are so distracted, there's so much going on, or you might be further down that road of postpartum depression or anxiety than you realize. Now you've got a plan on the fridge, right? Now you've also got it listed out for any loved ones you come over. Hey, you're not eating as well, your hygiene isn't maybe where it usually is. Mother-in-law, father-in-law, whoever it might be, best friend, that's a flag here. Okay, I'm gonna gently, lovingly say to you, how can I help? Right? Who should we contact here? Is it a midwife? Is it a doula? Is it your doctor? Is it your counselor? What do we need to do? And now it's all laid out there, and the person, the couple, they don't have to worry about it because it's all already written out. Another thing I wanted to mention that's so wonderful about the community now that we have is there's free groups, there's drop-in groups, there's also groups like you've been running for dads, that Rachel's running for postpartum, and it's not just nourishing the body and stretching, it's also about connection, right? And when we can connect with other moms, dads, other people, it's so important.
Totally, and I think that when in a world with social media, we all feel so connected.
Yes.
But that in-person connection is what I think a lot of people are craving, myself included, and especially coming out of that stage with Benny being just about a year now. That piece of actually going and because you need to almost isolate in that time of let's take care of mom and baby and we'll get through this situation, and like it's beautiful, but it's also really hard.
Yes.
And so we'll navigate this, and then but you do need the support. You do need a community to help support and to realize that you're not alone in what you're doing. And I think a big piece of what you were saying too about having that list on the fridge is that when you're in it, you are like your head's underwater and you're surviving and you're doing all the things that you think you need to do, and you don't necessarily. I think those things it's all little baby steps that happen to get to that point of, okay, yellow flag, orange flag, like red. It's all little things that happen, and if you are in it day to day, you see the little steps. You don't necessarily notice that all of a sudden those little steps have become a big step.
That's right.
Right, and that's the piece that when you can count on friends or family or somebody else to kind of step in and say, oh no, something's wrong here.
That's right.
That's so powerful.
Right, and just to continue off of that, if you are supporting somebody and you know that there's a group that they wanted to go to, offering to drive them. Hey, you have this group coming up on Thursday. Why don't we load everybody in the car, see how long this takes, see what we forgot, whatever it might be. We'll grab a coffee on the way and we'll go drive there, figure out parking, figure out the best route. There's so much construction happening everywhere, and helping that person even go through that piece, because that can feel so daunting. Right?
Oh, totally. That's the hardest part, is just getting there.
Right.
And for me, like I remember with Kids Can Fly, they asked me to be a part of this dad's program and help kind of co-create it. And I remember the first time that I went to go see the parachute program that they offer. I went there and I showed up, and here's me. I'm going to be running this dad program, and I forgot like diapers and wipes. I forgot like all these things. So I get inside, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here, but I forgot this, and I had to ask like all the the moms that were there for this stuff, and it's like nobody's perfect. Everybody's just figuring this out, and it's like there's not really any manual for doing it. I will never forget it, that period of with Theo, our first, walking out of the hospital and feeling like I stole him.
Yes.
And like there's nobody's gonna stop me. Like the doors, I've got him in his carrier, the door's just open, and I've got this little life with me, and it's like this is wild. Like
Yes.
my life has just changed massively.
Yeah.
And like there's no manual, there's no nothing. Like it's like,
Yeah.
okay, here we go.
And we don't talk about that either,
Yeah.
right? And that's huge. Your life does shift, and it's okay to grieve your life before. It's okay to grieve your relationship before, but what are we doing to move into that new chapter?
Right.
And it's okay to not know how, which is why it's important to have the community to walk through that. Right?
Totally.
To have other dads, to have other moms, to have other neighbors, to, you know, okay, what can we do to help you figure this out? Because none of us really know,
Right.
Especially at the beginning,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So how can we best support each other?
Right. Definitely. So I really appreciate you taking the time to share.
Thanks